Hello, you don't know who I am, but this young man next to me is going to introduce me.
Hello, you don't know who I am, but I'm here to introduce the young man next to me. This is Mr. Nick Rhodes, keyboard player with Duran Duran. Now he may introduce me.
Yes, I will in fact introduce the young man next to me. His name is Simon the Bon, and he sings for an English band called Duran Duran. And now, he's going to tell you where we are.
Well, if I can remember, which I think I can tell you, we are coming to you on California Music Channel. Got it right that time, didn't I?
And now from San Francisco, it's the California Music Channel with your host, Rick Kurjan.
How do you feel about that? The 20th anniversary of the Beatles and all the excitement concerning Duran Duran, Simon?
Well, it is a bit of a coincidence, but I think this Duran Duran Beatles thing's been laid on a bit heavy. The Beatles is something which happened 20 years ago, and it's never going to happen again. We're interested in making our own history, not rewriting anybody else's.
John, do you think the videos are at the expense of the music?
No, I don't think so. I think probably with the last album, we probably spent more time on the music than we'd ever done before. I think when we were doing things like Save a Prayer and Hungry Like the Wolf, we were probably attaching more importance to the video. Nowadays, I think it's, I don't know, it's probably more secondary to the music now because so many other people are doing it. Yeah.
Steve, did you have a question?
For all of you, with Simon, you would start. We know the upside of success, you guys are doing real well, but what's the downside? What's that about?
Is there a downside to the success that Duran Duran is having right now?
Getting up. Japanese photographers jumping out of your wardrobe.
Yeah. We did go on a gig, where was it? Seattle.
Yeah.
All the tables where there was sold our food on and that, we were sitting chatting away, and 10 minutes later somebody had some voices and there was about 6 girls hiding underneath this table in the dressing room.
Are you trying to say
Is that a downside?
Are you trying to say that's a downside?
I made an excuse. That was quite terrible.
You guys are interested in putting this Beatles comparison thing to bed, and I can understand why, but still in all the periodicals and Rolling Stone calls you the Fab Five, and there are so many striking similarities. Could you compare and also contrast the differences between the two eras?
Well, for a start, I think the Beatles, it was 20 years ago, and we're talking about today, and we're very much about today. We're not digging up any history of anybody else. And our songs aren't similar to the Beatles. We don't look like the Beatles. We don't even come from the same place as the Beatles. And the only thing that I think the whole thing started from was some of the more hysterical audience reactions that we've been receiving at some places. That's the only thing I could possibly say was anywhere near similar.
The Beatles was like, we are a musical group. I think the Beatles were coming from it was a whole culture change, and that it had more to do with history than it did with pop music. It was something that had to happen to the world. It wasn't just music. And
Flattered by the comparison, or would you rather just plain not ever hear it again?
No, we're flattered by it.
It could have been
I tell you what's
worse. It could have been Spandau Ballet. I suppose.
That'd be really bad.
Okay, we got a lady at the back with blonde hair been waiting.
Well, since you were saying you're not inviting Beatles comparisons, why did you pick this particular day to have your big-scale press conference?
Well, because we're here.
Coincidence. It just happens that we're playing gigs here at the moment. And
what is the relevance of today?
It's 20 years ago today that Sgt. Pepper taught the band to play. No, that they arrived at JFK.
Is it?
coincidence.
We're not at JFK.
We didn't know that.
It's the wrong coast. Okay, there's a guy over there.
Did you ever ask Capitol Records not to compare you to the Beatles?
Did we?
Did you ask Capitol not to compare you with the Beatles?
No.
No, we didn't ask them. We didn't know they were, to be honest.
Do you think we should?
There was a gentleman down here who had a question.
Okay, one question. Everybody seems to be concentrating on comparing to the Beatles. You give the impression you don't want to particularly talk about the Beatles. What do you want to talk about?
What would you like to talk about rather than the Beatles?
What do you want to know?
What's important to you today?
What's important to me today is getting on stage tonight and putting on a bloody good show for you guys.
Okay, over there.
Describe your own success.
How would you describe your
Nick.
old success? Your success, Nick.
Well, I think we've paced things quite well, and we're very proud of what we've achieved so far. It happened a lot quicker than we thought, but fortunately everybody's managed to keep a level head about it, and we're all pleased.
Lady over there.
Yes, I'd like to know if you're planning to score for motion pictures.
Would you score motion pictures? Write the themes for them. That's scoring.
That's something that we
In the future, I think it's...
Call it Yelp.
I wouldn't...
when we get more time.
Okay, lady back there. Yeah.
Have more female fans as opposed to male fans?
Do you think you have more female or male fans?
I don't know, I've never counted them all up.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do the folks back in Birmingham and Newcastle think about you guys now?
Yeah, what do the folks back home think of Duran Duran?
a drink.
Yeah, costs a fortune to buy a round of drinks. When we go back to Birmingham, and Andy goes back to Newcastle, and it's great. We've got a lot more friends than we used to have, I guess, or a lot less, whichever way you look at it. And we have a good time when we go there. I think there's obviously a certain amount of people that have changed their opinions of us, but we're still the same people, and we still go and see our old friends there, and it's great.
Do you think that you might have had the success in America you've had without the huge promotional campaign?
I don't think...
Do you think needed the promotional campaign?
Are you trying to accuse us of hype?
I don't think there's...
We didn't have a promotional campaign.
I don't think we've ever had a promotional campaign until now.
When you're on Capitol Records, you don't get promotional campaigns.
This gentleman here.
Promotional campaign.
We've toured in this country twice before, or 3 times before actually, twice on our own and once with Blondie. And I think that's where we gained our original foothold. And then later on we started getting a bit of play on MTV, which kicked the radio stations into gear. And finally people picked up on us. And I think that's
And then
why
we got a promotional campaign.
Is there one individual in the band who is behind the Duran Duran videos we see on TV?
Very democratic.
No, we're all very creative.
Yeah.
This gentleman here.
Especially me. I'm very creative.
Yeah, I'd like to know why the decision was made not to perform in San Diego or San Francisco.
No, that hasn't.
Well, you're wrong, because we are.
Yeah, I mean, the chances are, in fact, the reason we didn't play San Francisco in this leg of the tour was quite simply there wasn't a date available while we were in that area. But hopefully, after we've played over on the East Coast, we're going to come back to the West Coast and try and fill in with San Diego and San Francisco and a couple of others.
Okay, gentleman down there.
Okay, who's the humorist in the group that brings everybody back to their senses and thinks they're crazy stories?
The humorist.
Who is the strongest sense of humour? Maybe backstage you make everyone laugh and bring you all back down to earth.
None of us, we're all
miserable.
kids.
No. We hate each other.
You've been compared with glam rock, but your lyrics are rather strange. What influences your lyrics?
What influences? Whatever I was thinking about when I get up in the morning.
Lipstick.
Lipstick. Goldfish bowls, you know. Oh, anything I'm thinking about. I mean,
Okay, there's a gentleman way at the back there with the tie on.
okay, excuse me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Simon.
No, I mean lyrics is a very personal thing, and it's, you know, I've never tried to actually sort of pick certain areas or subjects to write songs about. Just what's that
We've all
about?
been waiting for.
Yeah, it's about I'll tell you.
Good question.
Yeah, it's well, the snake is the union of the snake is the union of the snake and the man. The snake symbolises a kind of subconscious power, force, strength, and the song is really about the fear that the subconscious is breaking through the dam between the conscious mind, which separates it from the conscious mind. And this is a little daydream I had, yeah. Pardon? What morning was that? I think it was after a heavy night on the town.
Okay, gentleman
The
at the back.
vodka's breaking through again.
What's the name Duran Duran?
Got it from a cornflakes back
Waiting
in.
for that one.
No, it came from a film, a 60s science fiction film called Barbarella. There was a character in that film called Duran Duran, who was in fact an evil sex fiend.
My liege.
But then again,
Just like Nick.
Don't tell me.
Why did you?
Because it didn't really mean anything, and we just liked the sound of it. And
it was individual. It could become us. We didn't want a name that meant anything else or that was easily relatable to anything else.
This is a Duran Duran special today on CMC, folks. I hope you enjoy it. We've got a lot of requests for this kind of show, and that's why we're doing it, so I hope you find it interesting. Duran Duran, such a phenomena, you know. We interviewed them in 1982, and we're going to play that for you right now. Now, this particular portion hasn't been seen before. It's not what we used in the earlier shows where I played that interview. Of course, we played those shows so many times. I know a lot of you, a lot of people even know the words to those interviews by heart. It's really amazing. But anyway, what we're going to do is take a look at that again and, from 1982, but this portion is when they talk about what it's like being on the road and touring, and it's kind of appropriate since in 1984 they did tour the U.S. only under different conditions. They're a lot more popular now than they were then. Anyway, Duran Duran interview and special today on CMC. Before that, let's take a look at their video of Union of the Snake here on the California Music Channel.
2, 3, 4.
It's a very special day here at California Music Channel as we have Simon LeBon and Nick Rhodes of Duran Duran here with us today in our CMC studios. You guys have been on tour now since, well, almost all year, starting in February, I guess.
With little breaks in which time we made videos and did little bits of promotion everywhere. We've been actually on the road since the end of January, yeah.
This just boggles my mind. I can't imagine being on the road for that long and going from town to town.
Nor can we.
No.
What's it like?
You just tend to forget what things look like, you know.
It's fun sometimes. I mean, obviously you get homesick when you're stuck in the middle of, I don't know, Minneapolis for 3 days. You can't think of anything to do. But in general, we enjoy it because you get through to a lot of people, and there's nothing quite like actually standing up on a stage and having like 2 feet or 6 feet or whatever between you and the first person in the audience.
Right. I mean, when you make a record, you put it down, and then it gets released, say, 3 months after it's finished. And in that time, there's various sort of promotional devices used to try and sell it. And these things do tend to kind of not exactly come between you and your audience, but they kind of warp it just a little bit. When you're up there on stage, it's instant, it's ephemeral, it's something which lives and dies in a moment, and it's just very special. It's very exciting.
So even though it's
all that attention, all on me.
Do you ever have eye contact with the people in the audience, or is it too bright on stage to see?
No, I like to see them. Yeah, depends. I'm a bit short-sighted, so I can only see the first.
Have problems with the balcony.
10 rows. Yeah. If we can't see them, we throw things to them, like apples and pineapples.
I do remember the pineapple.
Lumps of cheese. We pineapple. We were playing in Poole. It wasn't Poole. No, it was the Apple was the best one. That was in where was it? Newcastle, or Sheffield, or Liverpool, or somewhere up in the north of England. This great big town hall, and I walked on stage with an apple after the end of the show, before we did the first encore. And I said, "Anybody want an apple?" And they went, "Yes." I chucked it right out into the audience. What happened was, it went through the projection room window, right at the back of the hall, and hit a photographer on the head.
I'm Rick Urgent. I hope you enjoyed this Duran Duran video special today and interview special. We got a lot of requests for it, and that's why we're doing it. If you have something special you'd like to see in here, well, just write us at CMC P.O. Box 11114, San Francisco 94101. That's P.O. Box 11114, San Francisco 94101. It's kind of neat to hear ideas for a whole theme, too, for a whole half-hour show. That's why we did it this way today. In fact, we even got petitions from people for this kind of show. So if you want to really get ambitious and get out there and have all your friends sign a petition for a certain theme, well, that might be kind of interesting, and we'll probably listen to it too. No guarantees. Let's wrap up now. Thanks again for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. We're going to wrap up with Rio from Duran Duran on this special here on CMC today. Remember to write in for your requests, and we'll see you soon. Thanks again.